Good morning, January the 6th, 2015. I hope everybody had a great evening. Up a little bit yesterday. We made it to 30 and still have a couple, 3-4 inches of snow on the ground, drifting to 2 feet depending on where the winds piled it up. So Henry has died and gone to heaven. All he does is plow snow with his nose, never stops running. So that breed is built for the cold, and when it gets really, really cold, they snap into another gear. Fun to get out and walk. I apologize for being a little late. I must have had too damn much fun between Thanksgiving and with all the wedding festivities and the rest of it. I worn myself out. That's about all I can explain it to. Cherry bark. I'll take a look for it. The cough medicine I'm using right now, I'm pretty effective at suppressing the cough, but I'll go take a look at it. Hopefully that cherry bark comes in a powdered form, Drewski. Just kidding. Or can chew it like beef jerky, right? Well, we're stronger tonight. There isn't a specific news article to tie to this, but the Japanese, German, and our treasuries all traded up price-wise. Interest rates on average between all three is now about 1%. So you got the treasury, the 10-year, just below 2% now. You've got German, and Japanese 10 years in the 0% range, just to 1%. So a pretty strong market. We said yesterday coming out that we'd hope to buy the less than 20 area, lean back against this level, but if the E-mini continued to sell or closed weak, we'd have to pay 25s to get in. And you can see that on Globex, 23.5 was the low. The buying started in London. That spike in London, that took place in an hour, went 27 all the way up to 28.08. So we're in a situation again where we have a very, very strong market. The long side is the side to play from. The market will like to retest the breakout, and you can see in W period right here that it did retest the breakout and it held, which means we should get a retest of 8. So the sell, if it develops, and that's a great big capital IF, is 7 to 11. And quite often you'll find that in the overnight session, all the buying and all the selling is satisfied. The higher low can come in, especially on these spikes. So someone with the proper setups is going to be 7 to 11, 15 to 19 that we sell to. The buy side is the side to trade from. We've got support basically at the buck, 105 right now. So retesting this 38, retesting this 27, so say 28 to the 128 even area. I don't want to get tongue-tied there. Good buy zone. So 29 to 01, they take 5. So it depends on what happens on the E-mini off the opening. I'm going to try to buy into the first break. We can extend it. You can see right here with volume, you can pay 4.5 and not get hurt, and then 21 to 25 or buy 2. Okay, we do have news today. The news out of Europe was mixed. Spain's service PMI was greater than forecast. The EU total was less than forecast. Great Britain service PMI was less than forecast. The United States focus today will be ISM. So we have markets PMI, service PMI, which I think is actually probably more accurate. That they don't screw with the numbers. They're not in jeopardy of being fired by our government. 53.6. And looking for the trend on that one, I think is probably a little better indicator. It doesn't mean the market will trade off of it because the focus is ISM services, which is at 58. That number would be supportive. All the numbers this week for the year end for December are supposed to be supportive. They're supposed to show 245,000 jobs. And so the number charade will continue. It doesn't matter that the underlying stats don't support that number. It doesn't matter that everybody knows that they're cooked. When the headline hits, the news algos buy, and that's that. And factory orders at -0.6%. So ISM services at 58 is number one focus. Number two focus will be factory orders, and this PMI number, the trend right there, I think is a better reflection of what the market is actually doing. Like the long side of this market, but can sell failure to take out 128.08 to 12. And the dynamic that we're playing for is quite often the extreme edge of the market is set in the overnight when you get these news spikes. So what they do is they wipe out all resting buy and sell orders. Everybody that wanted out of their positions are now out. Probably off a stop, so there probably are very, very few buy orders up above the market. And you really you have to understand the dynamics. You have to understand what kicks markets off, what induces people to the trades that they do. If the market is making new highs, those people that are caught short are the ones that are the market goes up until the buyer hits bottom. It's pretty simple. Okay, selling failure to take out 48.04, so that would put our sell zone really in this 27 to 31 area. E-mini starts to sell today. We just do not want to be short treasuries, period. I mean, that's not too tough a call to make. Okay, we didn't quite retest the breakout. You can see London right here on this retest of this breakout. Didn't quite do it, so this 47.08, 47.12 is pretty strong support. We've got 14 down here. We're at 27 right now, so 17 to 21 will be buy one. And then 9 to 13 will be buy two, picking up this, trying to retest these highs right here. Again, the news focus will be ISM services and factory orders. Okay, haven't heard any more rumblings out of Russia or the rest of the world. Pretty quiet out of Riyadh, no talk out of OPEC. The Ukraine, we haven't had any cutoff of power to Crimea. It's interesting that the folks in Crimea are a little bit disappointed in Russia's takeover, seeing how their bank accounts and everything have been frozen by Russia, not just the Ukraine. So. I mean, you're dealing with first-class thieves in that part of the world, and what they know is how to take something that somebody else has. They don't create, they don't build, they don't do any of that stuff. They steal. And that's the curse of having a great big gold mine or copper mine or oil fields or something. Every damn thief in your country is plotting on how to get their hands on it and get you out of power. It's just the mindset. Clever, shrewd, criminal intelligence is all right there. Conscience is probably negative numbers with that mindset, but that's what you're up against. And so that the Crimean, the general population that backed, as far as we can tell from the news, the Russian invasion and annexing of the Crimea are now found that their bank and savings accounts were annexed too. You just, when you're playing with that kind of mindset and when you're playing with political demagogues and the rest of it, it just blows my mind how you can think anything can happen to you. Okay, yesterday when we left, we had the market, we had resistance basically in the 1205, 1210 area. We almost made it to 15. So top of value right here is 12, so value area, so selling 12 to 15, sell 1. 19 to 21 will be sell 2. If the E-mini sells, we should rally. If the E-mini rallies back, this contract will sell. On the buy side, 1200, 1202. We'll give it a little more room down here, 95, 97, picking up this volume for buy 2. So the inverse relationship with the E-mini continues. I'm kind of indifferent on gold. I don't have a strong feeling. And I'll let the software do the work for me. Okay, the euro had trouble overnight. Couldn't rally back and hold it. Got up into this red area. Now, one of the things about our software, you can't miss it. If it's red, you ought to think, at least think about taking profits on your length, and maybe you ought to get short. And on blue, maybe you ought to buy it. Think about buying it, at least covering your shorts. So we've gotten stops below yesterday's low right here. And you can see that's a pretty good seller, and now it's going to be in this 120 area. And the last rotate up in London stopped at 61, and we have a P period high at 51 and a Q period high at 35. T period right here. So we may have tested the low. So we're going to give it a little bit of room up here. We're going to make it 45 to 55, sell 1. And this is the area that we really have to pay attention right here. If we can't get through 30 right in here, we want to get short. And then we're going to trade the 70 to 80 area for sell 2. On the buy side, bottom of value, again, I don't mind getting long in the 1900 area. It is a round number with a setup. It can hold the market. But the trade still is from the short side. It's not a long. Okay, crude. I made it down to 48 last night, WTI, and I think Brent made it down to 52. The selling continues. Reg the other day had shown us 47.11 was a chart point, a weekly low. Thanks, Reg. I've got that marked. So 48.50, kind of one of those round numbers that would bounce the market. So this is where support is, 50 to 75, buy 1. 48 even, 48 1/4, buy 2. The short side is still the side to trade from. We've got a London high at 49.60, so it's very, very aggressive. 50 to 75, sell 1, and then sell 2, 50 1/4, 50.50. I don't think anything has changed fundamentally. There's still too much production. The longer-term direction is still down till we find a bottom. Now, the cost of production for deep water Gulf of Mexico crude, depending on the size of the reservoir and how the wells come in, is 40 to 50 barrels. Your major companies that drill a long time, their prospects have to have the potential at 40 to 50 barrel before they'll go drill it. Now, your wildcatters that do fracking and the rest of it will take less than that, but the majors don't. And the majors have the money to go out and bring in wells that'll produce 100,000 barrels per day, and they've got the cash to absorb the risk and the 10-year lead and development times to bring those wells in. And they've got the cash to buy up politicians if they blow out. The small guys don't. So it's always kind of been a guideline in the industry. And when you look at the majors can do quite well at $40 to $50 oil. Now, obviously, they'd like to have it higher. Okay, so here we are on the E-mini. Last night we left the E-mini wanting to buy 2010 plus or minus, and then 5s to 7s. So we had 5 to 10 as support, and so far that's helped. Okay, looking at the structure, last rotate up was 31, 28, 25, 23. And we got a high right here of 22. We got a higher low right here. Don't be surprised if we trade up. So I think structurally, when we come back and look at this 55 plus or minus, so I'll make it 50, 55. And then our 30, 35 are our two areas right here. If we come back up and we can't take out this 30 area today, then I think we're going to go get stops below 2,000. We have Friday's news, and the news this week, ISM services is a friendly forecast, 245,000 jobs at the end of the year is a friendly forecast. It doesn't matter how that number will be derived. The market's expecting it. So the news this week is supportive. And the price of crude oil is a part of what's going on. If crude can rally, this market can come back pretty quickly. And the engine that'll drive it will be short covering. So there's stops above the overnight session high. So we'll make 24, 26, sell 1, 29, 31, sell 2. The ISM number comes out at 10 Eastern. That number is supposed to be friendly. On the buy side, we're at 20 right now. We'll make 15 plus or minus buy 1. And then our 10 plus or minus buy 2. So we do have some news that can shake things up today. The market, the closer we get to Friday, the more we'll see some short covering. Okay, it'd take at least 20 minutes to get everything set up and done and printed and all the way around. I'm going to get busy on that, and I'll see you as soon as I can later.